It's safe to say that Marvel has become nothing short of a cultural phenomenon over the last decade. The company has built its brand into an empire, one of which the likes of Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America stand atop, with much of the credit owed to the man who orchestrated and oversaw the creation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige. And it's strange to imagine that for a company home to so many iconic and beloved characters, that not only did it take this long for Marvel to truly become a huge commercial brand cinematically, but it's also strange to imagine a world without Marvel Comics at all. However, during the 1990s, this pop culture transformation seemed like only the dream of die-hard fans, with Marvel as a company fighting for its own survival. Marvel's financial history in the years leading up to 1997 lay the foundations for a fascinating story. The parent company of Marvel, Marvel Entertainment Group, was founded on the 2nd of December 1986 as they were put up for sale as part of its owner's Cadence Industries liquidation process and were subsequently bought by New World Pictures soon after. However, on January the 6th, 1989, the entertainment group was bought from New World for just over $82 million by a consortium known as McAndrews and Forbes Holding, ran by Mr. Ron Perelman. Soon after the takeover, Perelman spoke of big ideas for Marvel, describing it as a mini Disney in terms of intellectual property, stating that Disney's got much more highly recognised characters and softer characters, whereas our characters are more termed action heroes, but at Marvel we are now in the business of the creation and marketing of characters. By 1991, Marvel had begun to experience unprecedented success, with the sales of books such as Spider-Man, X-Men and X-Force experiencing never-before-seen highs due to sales tactics encouraging collecting and the emergence of the speculator market in the world of superheroes. And as a result of Marvel's success, the company went public in July of 1991, and Perelman used the profits raised from this to increase Marvel's divisions, buying out trading card company Fleer in July 1992, while also acquiring a 46% share in Toy Biz the following year, with this deal also making Toy Biz CEO Avi Arad the inaugural CEO of Marvel's newest division, Marvel Films. However, between 1993 and 1996, revenue from comic books and trading cards began to swiftly collapse. Suddenly, Marvel, which at one point seemed as invincible as the characters it portrayed, now looked decidedly vulnerable. When the comic book market crashed in 1993 thanks to a glut of underwhelming titles and a crisis of confidence among collectors, sales dropped by up to 70%, and this left Marvel heavily in debt. Shares that would have been worth $35 in 1993 dropped a little over $2 in just 3 years, leaving Marvel Comics on the brink of financial ruin. In an attempt to combat the financial loss, Perelman proposed buying the remaining shares of Toy Biz and merging the two companies and using the profit to set up a Marvel Studios division. However, Marvel shareholders, most notably Carl Icahn, opposed this, arguing that the financial damage to Marvel's share prices would be too great. Perelman's response to this, however, was to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on December 27, 1996, enabling him to reorganise Marvel's hierarchy, with Marvel shareholders, including Icahn, unable to prevent this. And as a result of this, it led to a bitter legal battle between Perelman and Icahn, one which would give Marvel's Civil War comic a run for its money. Icahn fought to take control of the company from Perelman, who had promised of a new $160 million loan and the support of bankers known as the Andrews Plan, and expected a quick tour through the courts. Around the same time, Icahn had noticed a weak spot in Marvel's financial structure. He discovered that Perelman had put up his 80% share of the company as collateral for Marvel bonds. Now this means that if Icahn and other bondholders could get control of those shares, they would therefore control Marvel. The court ruled in February of 1997 that Icahn could foreclose on a controlling interest in Marvel shares. However, it didn't prove to be as easy as that, and the battling in court continued. In June of 1997, Icahn won the right to replace Marvel's board, effectively severing Perelman's ties to the company. But this wasn't the end of the issue either, as Icahn's reorganisation plan fell through on October of the same year, unable to convince at least 2/3 of the company's lenders to vote in favour of this settlement, and this led to the introduction of a third body in this legal battle in the form of Toy Biz, who instead proposed their own reorganisation plan for Marvel. This legal battle finally came to a conclusion 2 years after bankruptcy was filed, with Toy Biz owners Ike Perlmutter and Avi Arad, with the banks on their side, snatching Marvel from both Perelman and Icahn. And with this move, Perlmutter and Arad were able to steer Marvel out of bankruptcy, partly due to the sales of movie rights for characters such as the X-Men, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and also the introduction of new comic books, specifically Marvel's Ultimate line. And regardless of how you feel about Marvel's films, it's hard to argue that this story is equally shocking and dramatic as those that we've been so used to seeing on screen. And for a company that only 20 years ago was on the brink of collapse, Marvel, like the superheroes it creates, survived its darkest hours and pulled off what became nothing short of a billion-dollar victory, making their transformation from bankruptcy to billions nothing short of superhuman. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please do make sure to leave a like and leave a comment down below and discuss anything we talked about in the video itself. What do you think about the idea of Marvel Comics possibly going bankrupt back in the 90s? And could you imagine a world without Marvel at all today? It'd be crazy. Also, if you want some more of me, I was on Jay Parks from Fancy Teeth's podcast earlier this week, where we discussed all of the uproar about the YouTube ad boycott situation and what this means for smaller independent creators like myself and Jay. I'll leave a link to that on screen right now, along with some other videos that you may enjoy. If you enjoyed this one, you can follow me on Twitter at OwenLikesComics, and I'll be back next time. So until then, take care and keep reading.